to this edition of the Fat Archer. I was going to just do the intro here on camera, but the grinder is pretty noisy, so I thought I'd just kind of do a voiceover here. So this is Friday night. I'm getting the deer ready for tomorrow to mix with the pork. This is deer that I shot this year. This is deer trim, so it's partially frozen. I like to do it a little bit frozen just because it grinds a lot nicer and stuff like that. It's a little harder on the grinder, but you know, once it gets to a certain texture, it's pretty good. So I'm using the coarse grinding plate in it to get it through, and I've already got ground pork. I bought it that way just because it's easier to work with, and it's a little faster, not as time consuming when I'm working by myself. Also here I'm gonna just grind the deer through. This will be the first time it gets ground, and then it'll get ground on the medium plate for grinding the next time through, and that'll be mixed with the pork. And it allows when you grind it through a second time, it allows the deer and the pork to mix, and you'll see that later on in the video how the difference in between two. But here I was just it was Friday night. I was getting everything ready for tomorrow. I'd like to get it done here, so tomorrow all I'd be doing is doing the grind between the pork and the deer. This is 15 pounds of deer meat here, and then I'm going to match that up with 15 pounds of pork, ground pork. So it's going to be a 50-50 mix, and it's going to really it's a really good mix. You don't get over wild taste and stuff like that, and a lot of people that aren't used to eating wild meat really like that mix. At least that's what I found, and it seems to make the best sausage. Also, by running it through and mixing it up tomorrow through the grinder again, it's going to really take and make that meat stuff really well into the casings, and it really makes a nice mouth feel for the product. So I'm just gonna continue on here grinding, and then we'll get to Saturday morning. So stay tuned. All right, welcome back to the Fat Archer. It's the next day now, and I'm still working on my sausage here. Last night I completed some burger. I showed some stuff on that. Now I'm going to mix for my summer sausage. So how I'm going to do that, I got my hopper already ready to go here. I got some deer and some pork. I've already got, this pork has already been ground. I buy it pre-ground just because it's a lot easier for me. It allows me to get done on the weekend, usually in one day if I time it all right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to run through and mix it as I do it. I'm going to run them together just so I get a second grind on that, and it'll make it really good for me to use. It makes really good texture for it. So so what I'm going to do now is get started and getting some of that going here. So. Looking for also is that nice pink consistency. That means it's getting mixed up, because as you can see, the pork is a really light colored, and the deer meat background is pretty dark. But if you mix them together, you should get something that looks like this. This means it's getting mixed up pretty good. So I'm going to continue on. I'm going to get this done, and then we'll go on to the part where we're going to mix it up, and then it actually has got to go into the fridge for 24 hours. Stay tuned. Well, that was it. I just got this last little... There, that's the last of my 30 pounds of summer sausage mix that I'm doing. Next is I'm going to show you guys how I mix it. So that'll go on right away. I just got to get all the ingredients ready, but I now have 30 pounds in my tub and ready to go. I don't have a mixer, so I'm going to have to mix this by hand, but I'll show you how to do that. And we'll continue on from there. So stay tuned. Alright, so I've got the casing soaking and stuff like that for the summer sausage. Next is going to be, we're going to put all the seasoning in. This one asks for the seasoning to be sprinkled in and put through and then water added, so we're going to follow along with the directions. I didn't make a homemade seasoning or anything like that with this one. I just bought it. It is from High Mountain seasoning company. It's just purchased it anywhere, Canadian Tire or something like that. I like using it, it tastes good, so it's easier for me just to buy a kit. Again, some people prefer to mix their own. There's lots of recipes out on the internet and stuff like that, or YouTube if you want to look. But I like using this one. It's all measured up, it's consistent, and it's pretty easy to use. So there's lots because I'm doing 30 pounds, so I'm going to do sprinkle, and then I'm going to mix, and then I'm going to do a sprinkle, and then I'm going to mix, and we're going to kind of go in that kind of process. So, and this is where a mixer would be really good to have, but I don't have one stuff, so it's just the good old arm power, and it's just a matter of getting it through, stuff like that. So I'm just going to mix it all through here, and I'll add some more in a minute once I feel I get some of this too. I hand mix all my sausage. I don't, like I said, I don't have a mixer. I probably could get one and stuff like that, but I don't know. It's kind of neat. The only thing is, when you're working and it's cold like this, and you're working with the cold meat, your hands get a little cold, so you got to take a little break every once in a while. But it's kind of, still, it's good for the arms, good exercise. And I sure could use exercise, but so let's see here. I did that. We'll do a little bit more here, and I think I'm going to add now, once I get going here, I'm going to add probably about half the water. And so this is the seasonings and the cure. They send the packages separate and stuff like that, so you got to mix it all together in a bowl. So I did that, stirred it up good, and now I'm going to just mix it in. So they send the package, like I said, does 30 pounds, so I just did 30 pounds. It's nice and easy that way. I don't have to do too much measuring of anything like that. So I just added half the water. That helps with the mixing. Just keep doing that. Add the last of the powder now. Maybe I'll just add a quarter of this, and then I'll add the rest of it in a minute. Putting that in here. Oh, it smells freaking fantastic. So, like I said, it takes some time to do this. I got the casings soaking in the water. It'll take about an hour for them to be pliable, to fill them, and then I'll fill them, and then they go in the fridge for 24 hours. And once they set up in there, and tomorrow we're gonna smoke them. Some of them will be just done in the oven. I have some people who like the smoke flavor. I have some people who eat the sausage stuff who don't like the smoke flavor, so some of that will be done in the oven. It's just, again, it's people's preference, right? So that's kind of what, kind of try to make a little bit for everybody. There'll be, the casings for this one, I think is 3 pounds, 3 pound casings. So they will, they'll make a 3 pound roll of sausage. So there's the last of the water, And I'll get it all mixed in. Yeah. And while I'm waiting for the casings to get all set up and everything like that, I'm going to put this in the fridge, in my fridge here in my garage, and let it sit for that hour. And that'll help it also set up and things like that. So, and then I'll make sure it's mixed up good though first before I do that. So you want it consistent throughout the whole product. And then what I'm going to do while I'm waiting for this to set up is I'm going to make some of my regular sausage that I do with my brother-in-law's recipe. And it's a great recipe. I make it every year. He does up the seasonings for me, and I do the mixing and the grinding and all that stuff myself. But it's their family recipe. It's been in their family for probably, I don't know, 40, 50 years. I think his daughter is taking over doing it now and stuff. So I will be making some of that here once I'm done mixing this. So stay tuned. I'm just going to mix this up, and once I get it mixed, I'll put it in the fridge and continue on with this weekend's sausage making. So it's 30 pounds is probably my limit for mixing by hand. It's pretty tough to do. But the one other thing I want to mention before I'm done this segment is just to smell the meat every once in a while, because that'll help you with understanding how it's mixed through. So if you get a good consistent smell when you're mixing it, in little handfuls, just take them out through. I find that helps me to decide, you know, have I mixed it enough? Is it ready to go and all that stuff? So this is smelling pretty good. I'll probably have to mix for about another 10 minutes or so. And then once I get that done, it'll go in the fridge. So stay tuned. Alright, welcome back. So now I'm into the stuffing of the casings for the summer sausage, so I'm just going to get that ready. I have a 5-pound container. I think these casings here will take about 3 pounds, depends on how much I want to fill them, but 3 pounds I think is what it is. I have my little hand crank here, I got the meat over here, and so I just got to fill this up, so I'm going to do that first. So take that. Pretty good stuff. I cooked a little bit of it just to taste it. Tastes pretty good. So we'll move on to this. And one thing I didn't say that I was going to do was I added some mustard seed. So I always add mustard seed to sauce, some egg and stuff in the morning. So that's kind of the way I like to do it there. So I'm just going to get this cranked up so I can fit it in. Let's see. A little bit more. Seems like I forget how to use these things at the beginning of each year. So let's see what I get in there. I mean, it slides in these two little things that lock it in there, and then you just start to push on here. So I'm just going to push until I can get some coming up the tube. There we go. If you want to take the pressure off and stop it from moving, just give it a crank back, and it'll take that pressure off there. So I haven't filled any of these casings this big before, so this will be interesting. We'll see how good I do at it. So when I got the first one here, and it seems to have said I set them in about warm water for about an hour. So that kind of works out well. So we'll see. We'll slide this up here and we'll start filling it. And then I'll tie it off once I get it to where I want it. So you can make it as big and round as you want it to. It's just a matter of preference. Something's happening here. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, so I'll start by going it that way. and then I'll just let it slide through my hand for the size I want it to be. Seems to be working okay. Like I said, this is the first time I've done casings this big for these ones, but they seem to be working all right. And we'll probably do it about, I'll kind of guess on how much poundage I got going on in here, but it seems to be working okay. Uh-oh, looks like I ran out of space here for my... And we'll see what we can do here. So we're just trying to fill this. Like I said, this is the first time I've done these casings this big. So we'll see what we can do here and how big they are. And then once we get them filled, they're going to go in the fridge for 24 hours. And then we'll do there. So I think I'm getting pretty close. So we'll see how it goes. We'll back this one off right about here. And we'll see how that works. I didn't leave myself enough room. That's one thing I learned from that. Oh, that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to cut this end off here, and then I'll tie the string on the other end. They leave you extra string on the ends of these tubes. So you can just cut this string off because it's already tied at this end, and so you just give it a cut. I should have did this before, but like I said, this is a new product for me, so my knife won't want to work with that. So let's try again. Pretty tough cord. Pretty good old butcher string, that's for sure. Alright, so then I'm just going to take it, just give it a spin or two. And tighten it up. And I'll take the string. I don't know if you can see very good, and I'm going to tie it in a knot. That's all I do, and then I tie it as tight as I can. It's tough with one hand, but we usually get it done. So if I would have pre-done this before I started the first one, it would have probably been a little easier, but there we go. And another loop in there. And we're good to go. And this end is tight. And there we go. One summer sausage. And we'll put that one in the fridge here, and it'll sit for 24 hours. And tomorrow we're going to put it on the smoker, some of them. And then some of them will also go in the oven. Like I said, some people like smoke, some people don't. So we're going to do that tomorrow. And they have to really dry out too, like while they're sitting in there. I'll give them a chance to dry. And when you take them out of the fridge too, that's another thing to remember. Tomorrow when we take them out of the fridge, I'll take them out first thing in the morning, and I'll let them sit for a while to warm up a bit, and then we'll make sure all the moisture's off. They want to be a little tacky when we put them in the smoker. So that was number one. Let's try another one, see if we get a little bit better at it. First of all, we'll get this set up here, and I just need to back off it a bit. Slide it out, and we will put some more in. I got enough here for, I think, 10 rolls. 10 3-pound rolls, so that should be just about right. Might be a little bit bigger than 3 pounds. I'll probably weigh one here, see if my scale's working. Yeah, seems to be. let's see what we got. I'm a little bit short, about 2 ounces short, so that's not so bad. So we'll see how we do. Do one more here, and then I'll get back on. I'll probably go off camera for a while and get the rest of them done, and finish up a little bit here. So. Okay, so we do that. Slide that back into there. These are neat little units. I forget where I bought this one, but it might have been on. Oh, I think I bought this at PV Mart actually. PV Mart or Princess Auto, one of the two. All those cool stores, all guys like me go to. So I got it at one of those places there. So I'm going to go down until I hit where I filled to, about there. Get this one on there again, and we'll see how stuff in there. But I was pretty close. I think I was only 2 ounces out, so that's not so bad. And over there, and I have my largest filler spout on this on my meat. It's my sausage maker, so it's the biggest one, so it'll put a lot of meat out there at one time. But I think I just got to get the hang of how long I hold on to it and let it slide through my hand, and we'll see how it goes. Seems to be working pretty good. Again, it's a matter of sliding it out there. Kind of gauge from what I had before. Gonna use my meat tub here as a stop, so I kind of was up to there. And filling. Looks like that's about right. Yeah, I think I got a little bit more in this one, so that's good. And again, I forgot to cut the string. Alright, so we'll get this squeezed down again and twisted. Give it a tie. Again, like I said, for me, I'm not a professional at this, but I sure enjoy doing it almost as much as I enjoy the hunting part of it. It's a lot of hard work after you shoot the animal, and this is part of it, and you owe it to that animal that you hunt to make sure that you process and use as much as possible of it. So, all right, let's take a check on this one. I'm kind of curious to see. Oh, there it comes on. Okay. Oh, this one's a little bit bigger, so this one was about 3 1/4 pounds. So I'm kind of close in between there, so we'll keep going and I'll get this all done, and when I come back we'll talk a little bit about what accomplished and kind of some of the steps we did, and go from there. So stay tuned. So welcome back. I got it done here. There's 10 rolls of summer sausage done. I'm just tasting some that I had left in the machine when I had finished doing it up. And not only did I get 10 of those, I got also some left over here that I put into some of the casings, and I'm gonna cook those up also, and then I'll keep those for like snacking sticks when I go and set up, go ice fishing or do other things like that. So or I'm up at the property or whatever and I'm out doing something, I'll have some snacks here. So next part, we will go and cook them, but we won't be able to do that till tomorrow because they have to sit overnight. So stay tuned. We'll get going tomorrow. Well, hello everybody. This is the morning now of having everything sit in the fridge overnight. So today we're going to do a couple things. First, we're going to get the some of the sausage on some of the summer sausage on the smoker, which I did already. I got it going this morning. Got some pellets in there. I'm going to use hickory smoke. So we'll go out and we'll check on that here in a few minutes and see how it's going and go from there. So me and Madison are pretty busy this morning. So stay tuned. More to come. So let's go out and check on the summer sausage that I got in. I got it out in the yard here. It's gonna be set up this morning. It's kind of not too bad for December. I think we're like +3 this morning here in the hat, so it's not so bad. I'm gonna just take a look. Alright, so we got the smoker set at 300 and it's I guess 325. In the barrel we're looking at right around 200, which is exactly where I want it. I got a external thermometer that's set up on wireless to a unit in my garage so I can keep an eye on it. But we want to cook this to about 155, 160 is what we're shooting for. So I put this on about, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. So we'll see how it does. And basically I can only do 4 at a time with my little smoker. So there it is. It's all in there, getting ready to go, and we'll watch the temperature and see how it does. Alright. So we'll check back on that in a little while. So here's the other part of the wireless thermometer setup I have with the summer sausage outside, so I can watch it here. It started out at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, so we've had it on about 20 minutes. It's moved about 7 degrees or so, so we'll just keep an eye on that. And it just kind of gives me a reading about every couple of minutes, so it's kind of cool. It allows me to just do what I do and then leave it go. It's nice, so you can get the temperature. The biggest thing about doing things in a smoker is not to open the lid too often because you lose the temperature of the barrel. So by having this here, we can do all that. So, all right, so stay tuned. All right. So this is the part where we come to, or it's my favorite part, is to test the sausage and to try it and to cut it and see how it turned out. It's been sitting in the fridge for 24 hours. It has a little bit of moisture on it from sitting out here in a little warmer area. So I'm just going to wipe it down and then we'll give it a slice open and see what happens. So just clean it all up. That over there. Take my trusty Rapella knife. I'm going to try and cut it into 3 kind of even pieces here so I can. So there's 1. And I'll try about there. Okay. Excellent. Excellent color. Looks really good. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to just peel a bit of it back and we'll try and cut it to some open here and see, peel a little back and cut a few slices off of it, see how it tastes. So, ooh, that peels off wonderful. Great. So we'll just slice it. Part of the slicing process when I'm slicing it here is to see how it slices through with the knife. If it starts to crumble on the bottom, I probably have this not as good as I'd like it, but this is great. I'm getting full slices off of it, and it's holding together really, really well. So I've cooked it enough, I've cooled it enough, and it's all come together, and it looks really, really super good. So that turned out really, really well. So what I'm going to do is, this one I'll keep for lunch later. But I'm going to take these now, and I'm going to take, well, I better try some. Let's try some of this and see how it goes. It's excellent, like I said. It's really solid, really firm, smells good. Come out of the wrapper, great. None of it stuck to the wrapper, so that means we've done the right job by shocking it. I think when it comes off the smoker, I think the biggest thing there is having that cool down quick. I think that allows it to really solidify and stuff. So, really good. Has a little bit of peppery kick to it. I know it's my own sausage and stuff, and I made it, but this is really, really good stuff. So now that we passed the taste test, I better wrap some of it up. I got quite a bit of it. I got 30 pounds of it. So I think that's going to be probably 30 of these. So I want to take and wrap those up. So I'm just going to take, move this out of the way. Here. And we'll start by wrapping some of this. So I'm just going to use the food saver. And what I'm going to do, here we go. Take it. Again, we're just going to take, the reason I want to vacuum it is to keep that freshness when it's in there. And then I'll also wrap it with the brown paper. We're going to take this. There we go. Good, now it's sealing. And there we are. Let's take a look. There we go. All sealed up and ready to go. Again, turned out really well. So what I'm going to do later is I'll take this and I'll wrap this in the brown paper. And that just helps inside the freezer. And it'll keep it all nice and fresh. You'll be able to take this out a couple months from now and you won't even know that it was frozen. So, excellent. Thanks for joining me on this edition of the Fat Archer. We made some sausage this weekend, which is great. I'll have about 30 pounds of this summer sausage, which I'll be able to keep in the freezer over the winter and provide to my family. It's always great when you can take after you shoot a deer and process it and get it all put away and enjoy it till the next season. And, you know, it's a long time in between deer seasons. So, you know, we want to make this last. So we want to make sure it's as fresh and tastes as good as possible when we use it. And we don't want anything to spoil. So, again, thanks for joining me on this episode. And, you know, stay safe, everybody out there. And we'll see you again. Oh, and please subscribe.